Hi, my name is Kathy Moyne, and we are here at Green Thumb Nursery today in Lake Forest to talk about bee attractors. So I've been getting a lot of people coming in. I guess they're reading articles on the internet and are noticing that if they attract more bees to their garden, to their vegetable garden, they're going to get more fruits and vegetables. So I thought I would do a little video on the types of pollinators that are bee attractors, which are also pollinators, what these would attract, or what would attract them in the garden. So I'm going to start off with the annuals. Annuals are the ones that are seasonal. So these are going to be summer annuals that I'm talking about now, and that's when we have the most of our bee activity anyways, when we're trying to grow tomatoes and fun things like that. So the summer annuals, there are a few here that we can use that will do that. So the first one we'll talk about, this one is called Alyssum. And Alyssum, as you can see, comes in different colors. This is a low growing plant. It only gets about 8 inches wide spread. It flowers pretty much its entire life. I have seen it go more than 6 months. It can actually last about a year or so if you treat it properly. But that one this one's a good one to put at the edge of window boxes and borders and things like that. The edge of your garden box, that kind of thing. So that's a good one there. A lot of people like to use the marigolds in their garden for other reasons, to attract beneficial insects and to get rid of the bad guys. It also attracts bees. So these are another one that you can use, the marigolds. The other one is a zinnia. These are zinnias, and they come in different colors. They come in every color but blue and purple. So yellows, oranges, reds, whites, pinks. And these ones will go until December or so. So will the marigolds. They sometimes go into January, but generally December they're starting to slow down. We also have cosmos. These are cosmos, and as you can see, they come in different colors as well, mostly your pinks and white shades, purples, things like that. These guys get fairly tall. There's a couple varieties. This one only gets 2 feet tall. There's another one that gets about 3 feet tall, and these will sometimes seed in your garden as well and come back next year. So sometimes they will come back without you doing anything on them for them. But cosmos is a good one. And then sunflower seeds, we don't have the sunflowers quite yet, but we do carry a whole litany of seeds. That this one, let's see, this one right here, this one is a dwarf, and it only gets 18 inches. So you could put this in a pot, a cute little pot, and have it on your patio or have it sitting next to your garden. This one here gets, ooh, that one's a big guy. This one here gets 2.5 feet tall. So that's a medium-sized one. This one is 5 to 6 feet. And this one, this is the big mamma jamma. This one here gets 12 to 13, and this is the one that you actually get sunflowers to eat from. And these can also be fed to your birds as well. If you don't want to eat them, roast them yourself, you can use them as bird food. So they're really neat little addition to your garden. They are only summer annuals, so they come up, they do their thing. Another interesting thing about sunflowers is they actually track the sun during the day. So in the morning their faces are like this, and as the sun goes around they actually track the sun, which is why they're called sunflowers, because they look like the sun and they track the sun, which is kind of cool. So then another thing that we have, this is called borage. This is an herb we sell in the herb section. And this gets a pretty little blue flower on it. It's a little stalk that has little blue flowers on it. The flowers are edible. They taste very sweet. You can put them in desserts. I've seen them in desserts before, and they're really pretty. You just walk by, pop one in your mouth if you want a little snack while you're out in the garden. And you can eat the leaves, but you have to kind of mess with them. They're kind of rough, and you have to cook them. I've not really had anybody tell me that they like these to eat, but the flowers are awesome, and they will reseed themselves. So if you don't want a bunch of these in your yard or in your garden, then you need to make sure you take those flowers off before they go to seed, because they will pop up in your garden. So that's maybe a good thing or a bad thing. Another one of the herbs that we get, or that we have, that will attract bees is rosemary. And you can see the little blue flowers on there. They flower early spring to mid to late summer. well, not late summer, more like spring to early summer. And they come in different shapes and sizes. There are there's ground covered varieties that trail, and then there's the upright varieties. Some of them stay smaller and some of them get pretty good size. So you can read the label to see which one you want to do, where you want it to go. So rosemary is a good one. Then we have lavender. It's kind of an herb as well. Not kind of, it is. People do eat this. Use it in sachets, use it in making oils, use it for mosquito repellent. It kind of repels mosquitoes, and it attracts bees as well. So that's another good one to use. Then we have our perennials. Now I'm going to start talking about perennials. Now there's a lot of hedge type plants you can use. This one is a type of Indian hawthorn, and this was called a Yetta hawthorn. And it gets white flowers in the spring. Its sisters have pink flowers. They usually come in shades of pink or white, and they make hedges out of these. Now these are the ones where you'll be walking along and you see a whole line of them and it's just nothing but flowers covered by bees. That's Indian hawthorns, and those are another really good bee attractor. But again, they're seasonal, so they're only going to flower pretty much this time of year, early spring or late spring into early summer. Another one that we have that's also kind of a hedge type plant is the Waxleaf Privet. Now you can see there are white flowers on the end here. They haven't opened up yet, but when they open up, they smell good and they really do attract bees. Boy, they're just all over this plant in the spring when they're flowering. Usually I tell people if you don't like bees to cut those flowers off, because they're like used for hedges. So, but you can get a small one, a little bush, and let it flower in your garden in the spring, and that'll attract some bees. Again, though, it's seasonal. Another one that we have that is seasonal flowers they're ones that these are summer bloomers, but they disappear in the wintertime. So this one is called Sedum. This is called Autumn Joy Sedum, and it's not flowering quite yet, but when it does, it's going to have pink flowers on it. It's lots of flowers. They flower again. Let's see, these ones flower in the spring, late summer to fall. So these will go through the summer and take you into the fall, and then the plant disappears. So don't freak out. It'll come back again. And then another one that we have that flowers in the summer that kind of goes down in the finger. This is actually a biennial. This one is called Foxglove, and this one also is a really good bee attractor. And it comes in different colors, different shades of pinks and purples. Not so much purple, more pinks and whites, combos of those colors. Biennials grow up the first year with just leaves, then the second year they flower, and then usually they die. But in Southern California, a lot of times these foxgloves will go ahead and send off pups at the base and keep on going. So they do work, but they're blooming in the summer months. So then we have Echinacea. We just started getting these in. This is called coneflower is the other name, common name. As you can see, it's budded, getting ready to flower here pretty soon. And these go through the summer, and they come in different colors. No purples really, these pinks, yellows, oranges, reds, those kind of colors. And that one dies down. They call that herbaceous perennial, where it dies down completely in the wintertime. No foliage, just the roots are left. And then in the spring they come back. Sometimes echinaceas don't always come back. So if they don't come back, don't kick yourself for it, because they can be a little finicky, not wanting to come back. The other one that we carry this is a Penstamon, and these come in different shades of pink, purple, whites. I've not really seen a lot of yellows. There are a few, but this one here, they stop blooming. They don't die down. They just stop blooming in the wintertime. They look a little scraggly. Then you give them a haircut in the spring, and then they grow up and look pretty again. Another one that we carry that goes dormant, pretty much dormant, not completely. Sometimes it'll hang on to leaves. This one is called a Buddleia, or butterfly bush. And this one happens to be a dwarf. They come in 3-foot size all the way up to a 5 to 6 foot size. And these guys not only attract bees, but they're going to attract butterflies. So this is a good nectar plant for your bees and your butterflies. These are really, and a lot of these plants will be attractive to hummingbirds as well. So if they're high in nectar, those nectar hunters are going to be after these guys as well, not just the bees. So another one I like to recommend, this one is more of a year-round. This is Cuphea or false heather, and it comes in a different shade of pink. There's white. This one, these smaller flowered ones are definitely bee attractors. They get 24 inches tall, 24 inches wide. They flower pretty much year-round. They can struggle a little in the heat, so you want to keep them out of the really hot sun. They do like to be consistently moist, so don't be putting these in your succulent garden or your drought-tolerant gardens as much. They want a little more water, but again, they bloom year-round, so that is a great plant, and it's only 2 feet tall, 2 feet wide, and you can trim them if that's a little bit too big. So you can make room for those in your garden real easy. Now this one here, this one is called sea lavender. As you can see, it's got this beautiful purple flower with little white centers, and these are like dried flowers. They're like paper, but the bees were all over them, and these pretty much bloom year-round. They get quite a bit bigger on the base, about 2 foot wide, 2 foot tall, and these little spikes just come up throughout the year, and they last for a long time before you need to cut them off. So that's a really good plant, sea lavender. Now the next ones I'm going to talk about are, these are our summer bloomers. These are the ones that are just pretty much green in the wintertime, and then as soon as it gets spring, they start to bloom, and then they go all through. I say summer, it should, spring, because we're warm in spring. Might as well be called summer. And it'll go up into December, so it'll also go into the fall. So I guess I should say the warm months flowers. So this one here, this one is called Yarrow. And this one also comes with a white foliage, kind of a whitish colored foliage. The flowers come up on these stalks. When it's not flowering, it's just this low foliage right here. So it looks kind of like a fern. These take full sun. All these plants so far that I've talked about are pretty much full sun plants. So most plants are going to want, the flowers are going to want that sun, and at least 5 hours of sun. And these come in pinks and purples and reds and yellows and whites. And we sell them kind of as an herb, so I'm not sure if there's a medicinal reason for them, but they sure are cute, and they have these really cool flowers on top. Now when they're done flowering, you just go down the stalk and cut them, and then new ones will come up all through the warm months. So that's a good one, Yarrow. Very good for drought tolerant. Most of these, all of these, except for the Lobelia. I'll talk about the Lobelia right now. This is a perennial Lobelia, meaning that it's going to live on. It's a short-lived. It's not going to go for maybe more than a year or two, but it definitely goes longer than 6 months. And this one will trail, and this one will actually go more in a shady spot if you wanted it to, but it will take a full sun. If you're putting it in a hot spot, it's going to need a lot of water, so make sure you got it in a spot. If you're going to put it in the sun, it's going to get good water. So this is perennial Lobelia. And it's, like I said, it's only going to get about 8 to 10 inches, and about 8 to 10 wide as well. So then now we're going to be talking about our summer, the warm months, and full sun. This one is called Agastache, and this one is called blue boa. Isn't that fun? Looks like a blue boa, like you could just wrap that around your neck. And this one is also a butterfly and hummingbird attractor. And this one gets about just a little bit bigger than this and a little bit wider, and it flowers all during the warm months. So and we do get that one in different colored flowers. I've seen it in kind of an orangey and yellow, and the purples and kind of pink ranges. Then we have, this one is a geranium. This is a true geranium. This is called Biocovo. And when I was pulling the plant material for this demo, the bees were all over this baby. So he is a really good addition. And there's seed pods on here, which if left on there will give you some more plants. They'll come up on their own. So those are kind of fun. This one is called a Wallflower, Bowles Mauve Wallflower. And this one will get 2 to 3 feet tall and wide, and it flowers all during the warm months. And this one here was also crawling with bees when I was picking up the plants. And then last but not least, we have catmint, not catnip, catmint. This one is called Walker's Low. And you can see it's got that pretty little purple flower on it. Again, these are really good attractors, and they do have a minty smell when you crush the foliage. So that's kind of nice. So there in a nutshell are all the really good bee attractors that we have in our nursery right now. So we would love to have you come down and get some so you can attract those bees to your garden. If you like what you saw, please click the like button. If you have not subscribed to our channel, please subscribe and hit the subscription button and the bell if you want to know when we have new videos. Thank you for watching and have a great day.